Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we are going to be setting up a giant EMC farm. So, I hope you guys are ready. So today, guys, I have been super busy. I have been working on this little area. As you can see, and there's a little bit of a sneak peek of what it might look like. It is definitely different. It's definitely color-wise different. I'm sort of sticking to the same themes for the room and going with different color palettes and different floor designs. And I think that's going to look really good in the long run. We kind of have different areas. Today, we're going to be working on EMC. Along with fluid cows, we have both of those in this area, but EMC is definitely what we're going to be working on. So, as soon as I step through this portal, oh man, it's like we're teleported into a different dimension. Like, this is insane. I was debating on whether or not I should take this roof and actually make it like blocks where you can see the sky. But I really do like this terracotta look. It has a texture. It's not flat like concrete is. It still has a texture to it, which is kind of nice. But as you can see, I have my fluid cows over here. They're all stored away in their little areas. And we're going to work on breeding a few of those up. But before we get to anything, I want to start on EMC production, probably with massive, I would say massive roost farm to start off with. I think roost is going to be a very good option for right now, and I think we could do a pretty decent roost farm in these like areas. I don't know. I'm debating whether or not I should utilize these halls and kind of have the chickens going down the halls and then use collectors to pull from them, or have them in the hall here and have cabling pulling them. I'm still wondering what I should do. I think if I'm going to go with cabling, the best option probably would be top tier industrial cables, or not industrial, thermal, top tier thermal cables, and then having retrievers on them. That would potentially be the best. I'm still debating on whether or not I should do that or just go with the roost collectors, because the roost collectors are very good. But anyways, we need to start breeding up emerald chickens. That's going to be a big part of today, is getting an auto breeder set up. So breeder, we probably won't be able to look that up. We'll need to look it up here. By the way, I did put a chicken here inside this travel anchor. When we go to paint it, it'll be really nice. Well, you see we're up to 2 billion EMC just with the emerald chickens we have. That's okay. We need more than that, though. We need way more than that to even get started on anything. I think on some of the other rooms, we're going to utilize these chickens also for producing some of the singularities that we're going to need. But anyways, let's get into this. We need a roost, and we need breeders. I'm going to make a couple breeders. We're going to need conduits, and we're going to need we're going to need energy condenser right here. Probably some nodes as well. And that should hopefully keep us going with everything when it comes to breeding the chickens and everything like that. So let's also get a... what do I want? A diamond? We need a crate. We have a double crate. Might as well go with that. That has several pages, so that should technically work. I'm just going to set up a little area over here. I know it's going to ruin this floor, but I don't really care right now. I am just going to get, not roosts. I need breeders. I need these breeders running. So yeah, we're going to get a bunch of breeders up and running. I should be able to also be able to test out the conduit probe, which I don't think I've made yet. But I definitely want this conduit probe. I'm going to need a couple of pieces of electrical steel. There we go. So the conduit probe is really nice. You can see it's got a little mode on the bottom right hand corner. And if you hold shift and scroll wheel, it'll change it between copy mode. And I don't exactly know what this mode is. I don't remember. But this is like the informational mode, I believe. And then this one is the copy and paste mode. So if you hold shift and you click on a thing, it'll copy it. And then if you right click, it'll just paste a conduit. It's probably best just to show it in action. So let's just go ahead and fill this whole area up. I'm still placing... Am I placing down roost? I am placing down roost. We need to be placing down chicken breeders. Because we gotta get some chickens bred up. So these things are all gonna need seeds. And we're gonna be basically filling them with chickens to start off. Right here. And we're gonna need to make sure that we have enough seeds to do this whole thing. So right here, I'm gonna put an energy condenser on. I'm gonna eat one of these so we can kind of fly here. I'm also going to put a flat transfer node on here. I think I need that to be control and then place it so it's inverted. We're gonna place a roost on top. There we go. I even had that issue when I was playing, there's like a desync in the inventory. Alright, let's go ahead and, well, we're going to have to take a couple chickens here. And seeds is what we're going to need. Good old seed. And literally we can just throw anything in here to pump those seeds out. So, an emerald literally will make so many seeds. So yeah, I don't think we're going to have to worry about seeds. But let's go ahead and get these conduits sort of placed and sort of get an idea for them. Right now, let's go ahead and get this one. Basically, we're going to have an input and we're going to have an input and extract going on here. And this bottom one is going to as well. We need a Yeta wrench, which I guess is still over here, isn't it? So there's the Yeta wrench, and we'll go ahead and take that. Shift right click on here, go up, and this needs to be on extract on the green channel, always active, right? Now these are going to be insert on the green channel, but the extract on these are going to be on the brown channel, and we're going to set those to always active. Then what we can do with this is literally copy this, make sure it's in copy and paste mode, shift right click and it'll say conduit copied settings. And then when you click on these, it's going to paste to those. And if we take a look, you'll see that that is the case, and this is all changed. So what we can do is just go ahead and place the rest of these down. And this thing should basically work itself out. We're still going to have to probably place the base breeding chickens in here. But once these things start going, these things are going to start going. Like, it's going to be pretty fast. And we're going to start having tons and tons of top tier 10, 10, 10 emerald chickens. Right, so let's just start on this row. We're going to paste some settings. There we go. Next row. I'm just kind of clicking on the bottom section. I don't know if that matters. It doesn't even matter if I paste onto the ones that I've already pasted. Because it's just going to repaste what we want them to be on anyways. There we go. And this would also be a good, this would be a good way to pull out as well, if you wanted to do that. Pull out of these guys. But this should be hopefully filling things with seeds. We should start getting seeds in most of these. And it should start extracting and keeping those things full. All right, now for the fun part. One of these have chickens in them. This one does. We need to grab some of those seeds. Just for the early breeding process, we're going to go ahead and start duplicating some chickens. And yeah, we have to do this until we at least get the 1616. And once we get those, it should be a lot faster. Of course, even if you have a little bit more in here, it's probably best you go ahead and add those in there. And that just makes the process even faster. And so yeah, we're going to get all of them ready here soon. So now that we have all the chickens breeding inside the breeders, we should be able to set this to input on brown. And then go ahead and just remove the extract. And that should be pulling out all of our emerald chickens that is currently being bred up. And this should be relatively quick. And we should be able to basically maintain the chickens as we start building our roosts. So yeah, we really need to start focusing on getting the roost up and getting our collectors going. Now there's a couple different ways we can do this. We can set up a collector in the center here, and then we can do a 9x9 around it of roosts, and they can be 3 tall, and then we can collect from there. Or I can put them in the walls, and then we can figure out what we're going to do from there. Man, the decisions, because we could fit a lot of chickens in this whole area here. I mean, we could fit a lot of chickens, but it would also be a lot of cables unless we can figure out a way to place roost in just the right locations that it will pull from every single roost in the vicinity. That being said, we'd have to map out everything in a 9x9 and then use that to determine whether or not the roost collectors will work. So the best thing to do is just test it out. So I want to try the roost collector method first. If that doesn't work, then we'll go on to piping, but I think it'll be better if we use roost. So these walls are about to change. And what better tool to do this with than that swapper from Building Gadgets? The lovely exchanger. So we have the roosts. We should be able to set those as the block that we want to use. It doesn't work because it's an invalid block. Bummer. Probably because it's a machine. I wonder if the swapping wand will work. Or maybe it thinks it's also an invalid block. So, I guess this means we're placing them by hand, for the most part. That is unfortunate, but, I mean, I guess that could be used bad, in some bad cases, I guess. If you were to place all these. But, what we can do is at least place these, I want to place them one high above the base. We're going to have this sticking up off the ground, and we're going to figure that out here. But yeah, let's go ahead and start placing the roofs. So, yeah, they're going to have to go in the wall here. 3 tall. Just like this. Just like that. And we're going to line that all the way up, at least facing this direction, until we hit a center point, which is, this is a center point. So we'll have them facing here, like this. We'll have them facing like this, and we'll have them facing like that once it hits the center point. And then we're going to use these center areas as our basis on where we should place our roost collectors. So, let's get this party started. So I think I've come up with a perfect plan for these roost collectors. So, I went ahead and made them, and I got them placed down, but what I kind of averaged, or how I got these numbers here, was I went from here, because I know that this thing will accept a 9x9, and it'll find any roost that is within a 9x9 that is at its base. So you can see, if it's on the same level as the bottom roost, you can go up 3. It will not find a roost that is down below this level, but if you place it at the same level, it'll collect that, but it collects in a 9x9 area. So what I did was 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, and that would be the center. And I was kind of basing this off the center, and it just so happens that when you come over here, it's like perfect whenever it's lined up. Now, some of these, not like this is like perfect here, but some of this, like over here, these might be sharing a little bit, but that's okay, because you might end up with a situation where there's just maybe too much going on. These guys will basically scan for the ones that are nearby, and it's going to pull out regardless. These are all going to be going to the same location, so it doesn't really matter in that regard, but, you know, you can definitely tell, and it's going to be good. These should all collect. We shouldn't end up with any that are with emeralds staying inside the roost, because that is what we don't want. We want these to be able to maintain and collect. So, yeah, there may be a lot of them, but we're gonna get this all sorted out real soon. Let's go ahead and start putting chickens in. This is going to be the fun part. By the way, this whole thing is already almost full. Wow. That is kind of crazy. EMC is about to be a real thing real soon. This is crazy. Alright, so let's go ahead and just, I guess, grab a whole inventory of chickens. Wow. Okay. Inventory of chickens, and we're just going to start popping them in one by one. From the good part about these is you can actually input them by hand without actually having to open the inventory. So as long as you have them in your hand, you can just start placing them. So this shouldn't take too long for me to get these placed in. Alright, so I have every chicken in every single roost. Now for the fun part, we get to break all this down and, of course, throw all the lovely items. The magnet kind of helps with that. There we go. And the seeds I'm not so worried about, as the seeds are EMCable. You can see, like, we should be bringing the seeds with us. There we go, and that solved itself. Now, when it comes to all the rest of these chickens, I'm probably just going to store them inside here. They'll end up going in a drive, probably one of the 64K drives. And they'll just end up taking up a very little space, to be honest. Let's go ahead and throw those. We'll have so many, for backup. In case we need to use them for anything, to be honest. Because these are like the best chickens to use for setting up roost automation. Alright, so that's done. This is going to drop some seeds, I'm sure. There we go. A couple more roosts. And like I said, we're dragging the seeds with us. Good part about the magnet. And voila. All that stuff all wrapped up and ready to go. Now, the conduits, we can just break all those. Gotta love all the particles. And there we go. Awesome. Now the only thing left to do is, I guess, let the grass spread. So that way we can fix our little roadway here. But we're going to be placing down something, so I guess I should probably wait. On both sides here, we're going to set up a little bit of something. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to need an energy condenser. I'm going to get a crafter. Or I guess a drawer would probably work. Compacting drawer. 2 compacting drawers. That will definitely work. So we can take this. I'm going to place this in the center. We need to get something to go in between. Well, you know what? We may just use normal conduits. Because, of course, a flat will not be fast enough, I don't think, to transfer into our energy condenser. We don't have access to the faster mode of transport, which would be what is it called? We don't have it on the server, so it doesn't even show up in JEI. Let's see. So, I guess probably conduits would probably be the fastest, right? I mean, we can set that underground here, so it's kind of hidden and a little bit cleaner. I think that'll work out. So, yeah, let's do that. Let's put the compacting drawer down here. We'll need some form to pull this stuff out, and I think it'll be a little bit cleaner looking if that's what we do use, is item conduits. So we'll do that. Like I said, we need to make this a little cleaner. Have this here. Perfect. And I mean, we can throw some emeralds in there for right now to kind of show that it's making the blocks. Because that's really what we want to pull out of there, is the blocks. Because, unfortunately, this tier of energy condenser is not the fastest at converting emeralds into whatever you want to turn into energy. Or convert into the items. It's just not that fast. So if you use blocks, it will be fast enough. So that's what we're going to do. Next, we have a lot of work ahead of us. Each one of these need to be dropped down 1. And we're going to have to repeat this process all the way through here. And I first just want to show you what I'm going to do. And that way you guys will know what I have to keep repeating. This is where this conduit probe's really going to shine. And then also, we're going to get some GPSs. Node. And yeah, we're going to be using the transfer node for this. For every single one of these, the transfer node is what we're going to be utilizing. But like I said, we're going to be hiding this. So that let's go ahead and start with this one. The transfer node is going to go down 1 block. We're going to lock it to this drawer, this compacting drawer. For right now, I'm just going to have a stack of these. You can actually lock all of these markers to that one. Go in here. Basically, anything that's here will be automatically transferred. And here's where we need to get our conduit set up. Just like that. All right, so by default, this is not set to insert. That's where we have to change this. And the top is also not set to auto extract. So it may be best just to set this one to insert and then use the conduit probe to paste our settings on this one. That's probably going to be the better one. Do I have my Yeta? Yep. So yeah, a lot of work ahead of us. Extract always active. That should pull out of here. It may not look like it's fast enough, but it will be fast enough, especially whenever we add our extraction upgrades. Because each one of these are going to get max extraction upgrades. And that should hopefully be fast enough. This, of course, is backed up in here. So forget that point, because once this finally drains, it won't be that fast. And then we're gonna change the way these look. So yeah, I just have to go through that process on every single one of these, so wish me luck. So I ended up getting all that done. The EMC production is actually pretty crazy. Let's head over to Ender.io, and let's go ahead and get those conduits covered up. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the invisible block. We don't want that. We want this block. And there we go. Actually, this right here is painted glowstone, but it's invisible. So yeah, it was actually a pretty cool thing. That you're able to place like invisible light sources anywhere you want. And I was experimenting with that earlier. But look at this. Transparent conduit facades that look like fence. So basically it'll replace the fact that there's a conduit there and should look just like a fence. I think that's going to be awesome. And those are done. We can head back over here to our EMC farm. And let's just start covering this up. Now, I might need to get grass underneath here, so that's going to be, yeah, another block that we're definitely going to need to get set up. So this will be a regular facade, and we also need to be grass. So let's just go ahead and change that. And of course, acceleration wanding this is probably the fastest thing you can do. Whoa. That's interesting. The texture for that certainly is broke. Look at that. That is weird, isn't it? It's got like a white texture to it. Huh. Interesting. And that one that's been placed down is like different. Anyways, that's not a big deal. Let's go ahead and get this placed down. Each one of these needs to be changed. And the look we're going for is this look. How cool is that? How cool is that? So I'm over here in Monkey Bug's base, and I just wanted to show you where I got the idea for doing this. This is pretty awesome. Look at this. This is the conduits, by the way. So I just wanted to show you guys who I got the idea from. But look at this. Really, really nice. So whenever I did a base tour of this, I was like, oh man, that is an awesome idea. And so, thank you, Monkey Bug, for an awesome idea like that. So, when it comes to transferring the item from the compacting drawer into the energy condenser, we probably need to go with the transfer nodes. I did try Ender.io conduits, even with max upgrades, did not work. Was just not fast enough. So, I went with a transfer node with just a simple stack upgrade. And that seems to be fast enough. And I can't believe in just this small amount of time, I've already managed to generate one octuple compressed sugarcane. By the way, that's what I'm using. You just keep compressing sugarcane till you get to this point. And it's about 1.3 billion EMC apiece. But, I mean, once you have all of these roost collectors and everything going, it's pretty clean. And I was doing some TPS checks to see how bad this affected TPS, and it's not affecting it at all from what I'm seeing. It's no different than you placing down a chest or anything like that in the world. So pretty interesting. The only thing that's really going to be TPS intensive is the transfer into the into this right here, and then the transfer of the items through this one transfer node. And the constant battle that it has to go through right here. So that might be the only thing that would be an issue. I may change the compacting drawer to it not doing this, because if the compacting drawer starts causing issues, then I'll definitely remove it and replace it with something else, like a crafter from RF Tools or something like that. That'll do it for me. But for right now, this seems to be working just fine, and it seems to be keeping up, and it's doing a mighty fine job, if I do say so myself. Now, there is something else that I can probably add to this that'll change a few things as well. And that is taking personal EMC links and placing them in front. Now, what I think these personal EMC links do is I think that they only work when you're online. So if you're offline, they don't actually send EMC, because you got to remember it's running off of your player data. And if you're not online, I don't know how your player data is going to be updated. So that's one big issue with the personal EMC links, is that if you're on a server and say you have something chunk loaded, it won't stay chunk loaded, unfortunately. So that's something we're going to have to battle with, but I think we'll be able to manage. But for right now, I'm just going to place this here, and when I'm offline, and this say is chunk loading or whatever, this right here should still input items, because this should no longer accept items. That's going to be kind of interesting to see how that works, but for right now, it's also going to try and split the items, because these are the two closest. So I assume that's how it's going to work. If it doesn't work by tomorrow, then I'll just resort back to the energy condenser. But for right now, this should split, and we should have a constant EMC gain in here. And, and if we're ready to go, we can just take the octuple, and we can toss it inside of our EMC table, and bam, we have 2 million or 2 billion extra EMC, or whatever, however many is in here at the moment. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty awesome. Look at this. We're already up to 5 billion EMC after that toss in. Pretty ridiculous. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode where we generated a ton of EMC. Guys, I really appreciate it. I hope to see you guys in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.